Hey everyone, how's it going? Hope you're all doing well on this lovely Monday. Um, just wanted to pop on and kind of talk about something that has kind of been on my mind. I was speaking with a coworker. So where I work, I've been there for going on 9 years. I started as a customer service agent and then moved up to a senior agent and then moved up quickly after to supervisor. So I've been a supervisor for like 5 years now or something like that. Um, so I've always loved being a manager strictly for the interaction you get to have with the team. I love coaching people, training. I am the only supervisor that takes on new hires. So I take them through probation and all their training, coaching, all that stuff. So I love that aspect of my job. I love getting to build rapport um, with my team, not strictly about work stuff. You know what I mean? Like I'm a very keep it human type of person. I'll talk about my kids and they'll tell me about their pets or, whatever. Our one-to-ones are pretty much just chit chat. I try to give feedback when I need to. But our one-to-ones are very much for them to kind of vent and talk to me about things and, their career path, what they want to do and all that good stuff. So I have, not tooting my own horn. I have a really good reputation. Like when agents leave my team, they're usually sad. I have agents that have gone to my boss to ask if they could come back on my team. So I am proud of myself because I know I do that part very well. Am I perfect in my role? Absolutely not. Um, but I work my butt off and I build relationships. And in my opinion, that is how you maintain a good agent. Um, they feel heard, they feel appreciated, therefore they work hard and they get all the praise from me. I am all about giving in the moment praise, not just in our one-to-ones. If I see them answering a question for another agent, I'll slack them right away and be like, hey, awesome job on that, real quick response. Love it. You're awesome. So at the end of 2021, what year is it? We're in 23. Yeah, so probably the end of 2021, beginning 2022. We hired this new supervisor. Now we've always hired within or promoted within rather. When COVID happened, we were all furloughed, all the managers. They only brought two of us back out of like seven. I was one of the lucky two. So then when we had to hire again, because we let go a lot of agents and the supervisors and stuff, when we had to hire again, they hired a supervisor from outside of the company. So now one thing to understand is as a supervisor, you have to know the agent's role. You have to know their ins and outs. You have to know all the products, all the design stuff. Like you have to know everything an agent knows in order to be a good supervisor. You have to know how to do their job in order to give feedback. You can't give feedback on something that you know nothing about. And you can't be ignorant to that. You need to learn the role. So up until this moment, every supervisor had previously been an agent. They've never hired outside for a supervisor. So you can probably see where I'm going with this. So since that new supervisor has been hired, basically her training was a quick 3 months. She learned the very basics of the agent job, which is how to answer a phone, how to get a chat, how to respond to an email. They didn't teach her products. They didn't teach her the processes, however you want to say it, to the everyday inquiries. Like they taught her nothing, okay, and then gave her a team. She is a nice person, okay? She's a nice person, but as a manager, she's horrible. Like there's no other way to say it. She is condescending, she's cocky, she gets defensive if the agents say anything back to her. She doesn't read through their tickets when she's doing quality for them. So she'll question what an agent does, but the agent's like, no, like that's how we're supposed to handle it. We do A, B, C, X, Y, Z. And she'll say, no, next time I need you to make sure you do B twice. And they're like, that's not how we do it though. And then she'll get mad at them and she takes points off and she's just very rude to them. So, all of her team at one point or another have gone to my manager, which is also her manager, and complained for everything that I just said. Like she micromanages. She has no idea what she's talking about. She's not human about things. She's very corporate, which we, up until this point, haven't been corporate. Everything's been changing a lot. So that's another story. So everyone has gone to her and said, like, these are the things going on. Like, I'm not happy. Can I go back to Lee's team? So now this puts me in a weird spot because she's kind of like, why does everyone want to go on your team? But also everyone does really good on my team. So clearly I'm doing something right. And I treat them how I would want to be treated. I like praise. I like knowing when I'm doing something right. And if I'm not doing something right, how you present that feedback to me is huge. Like that makes all the difference how you say it. She does not have that. She is just very like blunt, but she has no clue what she's talking about. Then she gets pissed off. So I've gone to my supervisor about it. I went to her and I said, listen, I have her team reaching out to me asking for help because they don't know what to do. And they feel like she just doesn't like them. And she just like her title went to her head and she has no clue what she's doing. And my boss was like, they need to go to her. They need to learn how to work with difficult people. And I'm like, okay, so you admit she's difficult to work with. No, that's not what I said. No, but that is what you said. You said she's difficult. So what kind of feedback is she getting if everyone is giving you the same feedback about this woman? Like what? So I was just like, whatever, I'm just telling you what's going on. You could do with it what you want. Let's move on. And then so today I got a text because, as you know, I've been out of work since September for mental health reasons. So I got a text from one of the agents basically freaking out and being like, I'm going to have to find another job. Like this woman is so rude. She's so condescending. I brought this up to her and she gave me attitude. So I went to my new boss. So my boss got promoted and then one of the supervisors got promoted to her job. So now my new boss is a guy, and this agent went to him and was like, hey, this is what's going on. And he was like, hey, go talk to your manager. Well, meanwhile, he slacked her manager and was like, hey, so-and-so is coming to me saying this. So then she slacks the agent, giving her all kinds of attitude, pissed off that she went to another manager. And this agent's just like, I'm going to have to find another job. Like, no one wants to help me. They keep pushing me back to her. Like, she's the issue. No one's listening. So I feel really bad because I know multiple people on her team are looking for a new job. And I feel horrible because these are really awesome agents. They've been with us for years, never had this issue. They've been there for years. So wouldn't you think if a whole team is coming to you saying there is a problem, she is the problem, and these are all people that have been there longer than her, wouldn't that tell you something? Wouldn't that be a red flag? Like, hey, maybe something's going on here. Maybe we need to work harder. She needs to implement feedback. I am curious if she even gets feedback, because nothing has changed. Not one thing. There's a senior agent that she's only allowed to meet with once a month because of all the attitude that she gave her. And my boss had to step in because the senior agent was like, I'm going to fucking quit. Like, I'm not dealing with this. She's been there way longer than her. She knows literally everything. Like, I go to her with questions. She knows everything. And that supervisor was like trying to give her shit for stuff. And she was like, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, I've been here for almost 10 years. I know what I'm doing. So it ended up being this huge thing, because then that supervisor responded super cocky, and you could, like, she screenshotted the thread with her. And my manager was like, okay, you guys can only meet once a month, and only if there's a topic. If there's not a topic, you guys do not talk through Slack. You do not meet. So, like, if you did that for that senior agent, and it's all the same feedback that she gave about her, now all the agents are saying the same thing. Wouldn't you want to do something about that? Wouldn't you want to figure out a way to make things work? Give her extra training, give her a lesson on give her a lesson on keeping it human, because that's like one of our values. Keep it human. So I just feel really bad, because this isn't the first agent that has texted me since I've been out, because usually, you know, they'll Slack me and they'll be like, Lee, this is what's going on. I need your advice. So, like, I'll just help them when they need stuff that they would normally go to their supervisor for. I just help them. And like, my boss doesn't know I do that, but I do it for them, because I don't want to lose them. I don't want to lose good agents. As someone that takes on all the new hires, you know how hard it is to get a good agent with a strong work ethic? In this day and age, everyone is entitled. They're fucking lazy. It is so hard to get good people in the door. So hard. Excuse me, a little coffee. So, like, I just feel horrible that I can't do anything, because I'm used to being able to help and like come up with a solution. And it's like, unfortunately, I have no pull. I got the same pushback when I gave feedback. And not to mention, beyond that, this lady is so fucking weird, and not like in a, oh, she's weird, she's quirky. No, she's just very weird. First of all, she's MIA half of the day, a majority of the day. Like, when she works from home, no clue what she does. She's never in Slack. She never responds. But then she'll randomly like Slack stuff to me. Like, one day she Slacked me. We were not having a conversation. I had not talked to her in probably like a week. She Slacks me, LOL. I'm like, LOL. So I'm waiting, you know, thinking she's going to like tell me something. Hour goes by, nothing. So I type, hey, what's up? She puts LOL again. I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now? Am I losing it? So another, like, it was like 2 hours went by. I was like, I'm not responding to her. I don't know what she's LOLing. So then she messages me, how are you? And I said, I'm good. How are you doing? I'm good. Like, okay, cool. And then she's like, she said something about what one of the agents said in the room earlier that morning. So I go and I start scrolling, and the agent was basically asking for help to like do a refund. And I was like, did you need help with it? Like, did you need help to like help her with a refund? And she was like, no, LOL. I'm like, she's just weird. And this is what she'll do. She'll type like a random thing to me as if we're in the middle of a conversation, but there's no conversation, like super random. So I'm not a huge fan of her right from the beginning. Within the first month, I was like, that's a bad hire. She's not going to work out. But nope, they kept her because they would get backlash if they fired her. I won't go into the reasons for that, but it's kind of like a known thing in companies. So I'll just leave it at that, but they're not going to let her go. So we're kind of stuck with a really shitty supervisor. No one on the team likes her. She's horrible at managing them. She doesn't listen. She doesn't know how to do her job. It's just like frustrating because that's how you lose good employees is bad management. And she's given us all a bad name. And one of the girl that I was talking to today, she was like, when I get a new job, because I am looking for a job now, in my exit interview, I'm going to say the exact reason why I'm leaving. And I was like, and you should, and make sure you make it constructive. Don't just sit there and bash, like give examples, explain that you've gone to this one, you've gone to that one, you get pushback. She gives you cocky responses. She's not kind. Like, make it constructive so it doesn't seem like you're just like, a pissed off ex-employee type of thing. So I also gave her some pointers. She's going to meet with my boss tomorrow. So I kind of gave her a list of how to say what she wants to say so it doesn't come across again as if she's like bashing the supervisor. Do I think anything's going to come out of it? Not at all. And I told her that, right? I was like, listen, all about you having a meeting and bring this up. I said, this is something that everyone has brought up numerous times, including myself. And the response that people get is you have to figure out how to work with her, figure it out. So we're going to be losing some really good agents and I feel horrible, but they all know they can put me down as a reference. Like, yeah. So that's what was going on today. And it made me really happy that I just wasn't at work. Like I go in and I read the Slacks and I read the emails and I'm just like praying that my medication helps with like the day-to-day stress that comes with it. My therapist had explained like my capacity for bullshit is smaller now because of like everything that I've gone through over the past like 2 years. So I don't have a lot of room. So like as it is, I'm like running high with like emotions and stuff like that. So when I'm stressed, it's an emotional response, basically. And I just hope that my meds can really help keep my capacity at a normal level. And I don't end up losing my mind. And, of course, I'm always kind of looking for different jobs and just kind of seeing what's out there, just in case. You never know what the future holds. As of right now, we have to go in once a week. My biggest fear is they end up having us go in full time again. They say that they're not going to do that, but it's like my biggest fear because I have 2 children and I have no help during the week. I'm their caretaker. So, they get out of school, like someone needs to be there. I pick them up from school. So I'm very nervous about that, but it's the future. I can't stress about the future because I don't know what it holds. So that's been like my biggest thing that I've been telling myself is stop stressing about things that haven't happened yet. Just because you create these scenarios in your head doesn't mean that they're real. If they become real, you deal with it in the moment. Do not stress yourself out about things that you don't know if they're going to happen and you can't change because they haven't happened yet. So it's like this vicious cycle that just goes on up here. It's wild. It's a good time. So yeah, so this week is pretty open for me. I don't have therapy this week. Kind of sad about that. But my therapist had like mandatory, like professional classes or something that she had to attend to. So I won't be seeing her this week. I did a big Christmas order earlier today, and I'll probably do another one on Wednesday. So I am excited because I've been able to get things for, my kids and my boyfriend. So that's always exciting. Really looking forward to Christmas, but I do need it to slow down because I'm not fully ready yet. Got a few more weeks at least. So yeah, so I just wanted to jump on here and kind of vent because I feel like, if there are any managers out there listening to this, if you're not good at what you do, it's impossible to coach others to be their very best. You can't tell someone how to do their job if you have no clue how to do their job. You can't give feedback if you don't know what the right process is. So, for me, I'm very humbled by the fact that I was an agent in this role. And it's a role where you say yes to everything, which you would think would make it so much easier dealing with customers, but it is not. It is a tough role. We have very high expectations of agents. So there's no such thing as perfect, but we expect them to be as close as possible. So doing the role myself, like I know what's expected. I know what to look for. I know how to give feedback constructively. And I never forget what it's like to be an agent. I never forget what it's like to have that asshole customer call in first thing in the morning and just throw you off for the rest of the day. And so my agents will be honest, like they'll send me the call and say, hey, this was a rough call. My tone was not at its best. Just wanted to give you a heads up. And I'm like, that's fine. Do you need to take 5 minutes? Go take a quick walk, grab some coffee, like step away for a second. Because that's how I was managed. My manager never got brought back, unfortunately, but I loved her as manager. And in the way that I am with my agents, because she showed me that it was okay to be that way. So I am a very empathetic person. When they have a rough call, I think of all of my rough calls that I'm traumatized by because they were just super asshole customers. So yeah, just word to the wise to anyone that's a supervisor out there. Just remember, there's no such thing as a perfect agent. When I hop on chats, I pray to God my boss doesn't look at my chats because I'm like I'm not out of practice. I know all the things to say, but it takes me longer because I have to look up the new policy and like all this stuff. So I'm not looking for perfection. I'm looking for people to just be human. And if you make a mistake, just say you made a mistake. Not a big deal. So yeah, but besides that, I think I will do another video tomorrow. I'm going to have a topic, another one today. This one was just like a spur of the moment because all day long I've been talking with this girl all day long. And then I had the senior agent that I was talking about that has been there forever. She reached out to me saying that girl was freaking out. And I was like, yes, I know, I've been talking to her. So just need to get off my chest in case anyone actually watches this video besides my lovely boyfriend. If anyone watches it and you're a supervisor or you're looking into that career path of being a manager, it is important to keep it human. Okay. Remember, you're all human. Title aside, doesn't matter. Treat people kindly with respect. Treat them the way you would want to be treated. Moral of the story. So anyhoozle, I got to start supper. Hope you guys are all doing great. And I will talk to you all soon. Later.